Hi, I'm doing a video redo for AP Micro, and this is the 2.1 demand video. So, for question 1, explain the law of demand using a market graph. So if we draw a market graph, P and Q, we only need to draw a demand curve for this. So it's the downward sloping demand curve, and you'll see that the law of demand, its definition is pretty much that there's an inverse relationship between the price of a good and the quantity that people want to buy. So that means that when price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down, and vice versa, like the other way as well. So you can see this pretty clearly if the price moves from, let's say, this is a high price and then this is a low price, right? Let's call this P1 and then this is P2. If we look at this point on this demand curve, you'll see that this correlates to a demand that is low, and then like quantity demanded that's low, and this one correlates to one that's much higher. And this movement along the curve, this is an example of movement along the curve, it shows there's an inverse relationship. High price, low demand. Low price, high demand, high quantity demanded. That's what Q stands for. And the second question was the difference between a movement along the curve and a shift in demand. So a movement along the curve, just going from here to here, different price, then that means that it's caused only by a change in the price of the good itself. So cheaper, more people want to buy it. More expensive, less people want to buy it. But there's also shifts in demand. And it's a change in demand. It's also a change in demand. Well, it's caused by, it's demonstrated by if you shift the curve to the right or the left. Now, if you look at this shift, if we're shifting it to the right, then there's more quantity demanded. If there's a shift to the left, that means that there's less quantity demanded. And this means that at every possible price, there's going to be, for this one, more demand, even though it's the same price. And this one, same price, less demand. And that's caused by other conditions in the market and other factors. That's not just changing the price. And for question 3, explain using a graph what an increase in demand looks like and a decrease in demand. Well, let's draw another graph, P and Q. Let's call this D1. And if you shift it to the right, let's call this D2. This means that at every possible price, consumers want to buy more. But the question is asking decrease in demand, shifting to the left. This means that at every possible point, people want to buy less. And you can see that just at this fixed price, less, more on this quantity demanded. And for the fourth question, using a real-life market, explain the determinants of demand by using example graphs for each determinant. Be sure to indicate what the shift is and what happens to price and quantity. So, let's, for the first one, taste and preferences, P, Q. Let's say that, if there's like a study in coffee and like there's good news about it that's saying like coffee's like really good for you or something, then people are gonna prefer it. So that means that, okay, let's say this is the original demand curve, D1. It means that demand increases, which it's a shift right, D2. Now, what happens is, let's also draw a supply curve, and this shows that the equilibrium at D2 after the study is released, it shows that the price is higher, see, goes from there, and then it shows that, so the price is going up and the quantity is also going up. The quantity demanded is also going up, price is going up. And that's obviously because people are gonna want to buy more, it's like, yeah, and that causes things. And then price of substitute, so if the price of a substitute to coffee, let's say tea, it increases, people are going to want more coffee. Demand increases, it shifts to the right. And then this is the same thing. This ends up being the same graph. So same thing, price goes up, quantity demanded goes up at equilibrium. Price of complements, so for coffee, that'd be like what, coffee creamer, if that increases, then the combined cost is higher, then demand decreases. And what that graph looks like is, this is the original, what happens is it shifts to the left, and that's like decrease in demand. And then as you can see, both price goes down, quantity demanded also goes down. If incomes rise, so that's another one, incomes, and let's just assume coffee's a normal good. If incomes rise, then demand will go up. And that's because if people have more money, then they're gonna want to purchase more normal goods. And then this is the same graph as this. People gonna want to buy more. So quantity, price goes up, quantity demanded also goes up. And if the population grows, it's another one. The number of buyers increases, then demand increases, and that's also a shift right. And then this causes the exact same thing. I'm not gonna draw the graph again. Well, I am actually. Price goes up, quantity demanded also goes up. And that's it.